Welcome to the Coach Toolbox. I'm your host, Dr. Ajay Nangalia, a leadership coach and counselor. This channel supports your professional and personal development as a leader with research-based and practice-focused learning. And we bring you the best career and life advice from guests who've been there and done that successfully. And now, our session today. Hi, and welcome back, and let's continue our conversation on strengthening the relationship between couples or partners. Now, this is the second part of a three-part series on igniting or reigniting your relationship. Our focus today is on setting a strong foundation for the relationship between couples and partners. So if you have not listened to part 1 of this series, I encourage you to listen to part 1 also, and there'll be a final part 3 coming up. Now, most couples start a relationship either by active choice or by passive acceptance without too much thought of some basic processes of managing the relationship. More often than not, cultural norms shape what the roles of the partners are going to be, or the couple figures it out by trial and error. But what if the couple had a conversation about some of the foundational processes of living together? Would that not minimize a lot of confusion and heartburn? So here are some ideas that both of you should have a conversation on. It doesn't matter if you're just getting together or if you have been together for some time. It's always wise to relook at how roles and expectations change along with life phase. In essence, whether you're a new couple or have been partners many years, listen to this conversation together, and at each point when I ask you to pause, hit pause and have a conversation. So let's start. So point number 1. One of the issues that you need to discuss is which areas of household tasks would each partner like to do and or share. A generation or two ago, the thinking was that the man would go out and earn the money and that the woman would do everything else to manage the home and the kids. Then came the version that the man would go out and make the money and the wife would go out and work too. But in addition, she would still run the house and manage the children. Now, if there are shades of this thinking still, then they need to be talked through between you both so that there is a distribution that both of you are comfortable with. This will ease friction on a daily basis. And if you've been together for many years, but now the kids have gone off to college, then once again, the tasks may need to be redistributed. So it's good to have this conversation at any point in the relationship. So now when you hit the pause button, talk about how the tasks are to be shared, what would be a fairer distribution, where would you like support, and anything else that needs to be spoken about in terms of managing the logistics of living together. So please go ahead and pause now. Let's come to point number 2. Now, when we first get together, neither partner can get enough time with the other. And in just a little while, each partner then starts to crave for a little space and a little personal time or me time. And this is a very normal part of our being. We need to balance who we are as individuals along with our identity and life as a couple. They shouldn't be mutually exclusive. It's important for partners to realize that needing time and space for some quiet me time or even personal privacy does not mean that one partner loves the other less, or that it means that one partner doesn't like spending time with the other. One sign of a dysfunctional relationship is when a couple gets so enmeshed in each other's life that they lose sense of who they are as individuals. This state might give you the illusion that, we are so connected, but in reality, this is a time bomb ticking because the self of each partner, or at least one of the partners, is getting overwhelmed. So now when you pause, let's talk about what is personal time and space for each partner. When and how would you like to spend some me time? When are the times that you'd like not to be disturbed and would like to be quiet? So go ahead and hit the pause button now. Let's come to point 3. There is another side of the coin to carving out time and space for each individual partner. And this is carving out time to spend time together, laughing, doing things that both enjoy, and just spending time together as a couple. As a couple, not as a family with the kids or with the parents or the in-laws, just together as a couple, the two of you.
You see, what invariably happens when the couple starts a family, life revolves around the children and the parents and the in-laws and so on. The identity of the couple gets enmeshed with that of the family, and most couples lose the most precious aspect of being together, that is, just being together, alone with each other, without all the other family and extended family members. Once again, carving out a couple's only time is critical for keeping the relationship between the two of you alive. It's important to not have parents or in-laws tagging along at such times, because then it's not about the couple. So now when you pause, talk about how you can carve out some time for just the two of you. Perhaps you could go out, take a break without the family. What will work for you? It could be just an afternoon out, just the two of you, or both of you could leave for work, bunk work, and spend the day at a resort and get back home at the usual time. Keep it a secret, and you'll sense the excitement of planning a partner's only time. So now when you pause, plan some fun and, if need be, secret outings for just the two of you. Pause now and take your time planning this. Alright, point 4, some really deeper issues. And that is, what is the process that you as a couple will follow to make important decisions? And these decisions could be about starting a family, choosing a geographic location, or relocation around the career of one partner, investment in a home or other assets, and so on. Other important decisions will include, what will you both do about elder parents and or in-laws? Will they live with you or nearby? How will you manage these realities of life? Now, none of these topics have easy or clear-cut answers, because they are complex, because the situations are complex, and they are also strongly emotional. So before you look at a specific decision, it's wise to agree on what the decision-making process will be like. And this does not mean that the process will be followed or will work in each and every decision of life, but at least there will be some conversation and thinking about the impact of the choice the partner or the couple is making. So when you pause now, think about the important decisions that are likely to come up in the near or medium-term future for you. Career, geographic relocation, children, elder care, finances, and so on. And then for each area, talk about what each of you have as concerns, possible options, perhaps the need for more information on that area, and so on. Even if you don't have an answer or perfect clarity, it's important to identify and articulate areas that are critical for you both, and to start conversations around each area. So when you pause now, start with this list of critical decisions that you have to take in the next few years. And also, if some big change has just happened in the recent past that you were not able to talk through, then why not talk about this too? So pause now. Let's bring our conversation today to a close. In this second part of our 3-part series for couples and partners, we focused on the importance of, number 1, sharing household tasks and sharing the logistics of life in a way that works for you both. Number 2, creating time and space for each person to have me time. Number 3, carving out time for the couple to spend time as a couple only. And finally, number 4, talking about what the important decisions in your life are going to be and how you will think them through. Remember, our conversation today builds on part 1, so please go back and listen to that episode together as a couple. And if you feel that this has been helpful, please share the episode with other couples in your circle of friends and family. Remember to hit the subscribe button on this channel so that you'll know when the next episode, part 3, is released. And finally, if you feel that it would be easier for you to have such conversations with a counselor or coach, then please feel free to connect with me and we can explore how to take it forward. Good luck.
And that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Please connect with us on coachtoolbox@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and review this channel. Details of our ICF-approved coach training programs and our services as executive coaches and coaching supervisors are on www.globalcoachtrust.org. See you in our next session.